guys, Zinigami here, and on the global version of One Piece Treasure Cruise, we are starting to get the 3-day, 2-year Straw Hats Batch. Now, we are getting 3-day, 2-year Straw Hats Batch number 1, that is from Brook here all the way down to Zoro, but I'll be going over both batches, the part 1 from Brook to Zoro, and part 2 that includes Luffy and Jinbe. The 6-star Jinbe is going to be in part 2. Now, if you do pulls during part 1 or part 2, that's up to you, but in the end of the day, it mostly comes down to whether or not you get lucky. I probably won't be doing pulls this Sugofest. I would rather wait for the next one with Jinbe too, so I can try to take a shot at Jinbe. That and a brand new batch of global characters so soon after the last batch of global characters. Kind of need to get my wallet some time to lick its wounds. Anyways, starting off with Zoro. Zoro is the best slasher booster in the game. He is a 3-stage special, so if you're unfamiliar with how multi-stage specials work, you can use a special either at stage 1 for a very weak ability, or wait longer, use it at stage 2 for a medium ability, or wait longer and then use it at stage 3 for its strongest ability. You can see how it works here. So it starts at 17 turns, with skill ups it goes down to 11 turns, so 17 turns, he changes his own orb to strength, boosts his attack by 1.5. After 21 turns, then he boosts all slashers by 1.5 for 2 turns, which is already twice as good as Koza. And then at 24 turns, he boosts his slashers by 1.75 for 2 turns, which makes him a stupid good slasher booster. He also has some very, very good attack, he's as good as young Arlong. And his captain ability is like Whitebeard for slashes. So Zoro, all around, a very strong character. And then we get 3-day, 2-year Robin. 3-day, 2-year Robin is very, very good if you have a Croc team especially, because her special ability not only delays for 1 turn, not only locks your orbs for 1 turn, not only deals 5,000 damage for 1 turn, but also sets you to 1 health. Now, normally setting yourself to 1 health isn't something you want to do, unless you're using a Whitebeard team or another team that's below 30%, but usually by the time you got a 5 or 9 turn special up, you're already probably below 30%. However, for a Croc team, since his damage goes up the lower health you have, she is very, very good. She is cerebral, she is an int character, she delays, she locks orbs, she deals damage, she sets your health to 1, everything that a Croc team wants. So if you've got a Croc team captain and you really want to use that Croc, Robin is so good for you. You definitely want to grab a Robin if you can get one, if you got a Croc 6-star captain. Her captain ability is once again like a Whitebeard captain ability, but for cerebral characters, something you can usually pass over because it's a little too risky for not enough reward. Chopper, the super adorable hero who protects the world. Chopper's special ability recovers health and boosts Psy attack by 1.5 for 2 turns, a moderate special, and once again a pretty moderate captain ability. Boosts Psy characters by 2 times, but he also makes int orbs work as matching orbs for Psy characters, so that way basically if you have a side team with a Chopper captain, you're never going to get a badly matching orbs. You're only going to be able to get good matching orbs or neutral matching orbs, unless of course bother orbs show up. So this captain ability, kind of useful. I haven't had a chance to use him that much. It hasn't been super interesting, but you know, if you're missing a side captain that's better than your Garp, definitely better than Garp as a captain for an offensive team for Psy. And then we have Sanji. Sanji, probably the best character besides Zoro and Robin if you don't have a Croc. If you have Croc, Robin is definitely the one you want to hope for the most. If you really want to use slashers, Zoro's the one you want the most. And then Sanji is who you want to use the most if you have powerhouse characters. Sanji's captain ability boosts the attack of powerhouse characters by 2.25, their health by 1.5, which is a pretty nice health boost, a 1.5 health boost. But he also has a mini Enel captain ability too. So he's just like Enel in that he boosts by 2.25 and recovers at the end of each turn, but he also boosts health by 1.5 times. His recovery only is 201, but if you do have him, putting plus recovery cotton candy on him would be a great choice, giving him 600 recovery per turn, which is a pretty reasonable amount, a pretty good amount actually. And his special ability is a multi-stage special. On turn 2, he boosts the attack of powerhouse characters by 2 times for 1 turn. That is so good, a double powerhouse attacks boosting special. So not only is he a great captain, but he's also a great sub. Probably the best character to get overall, then Robin, then Zoro, depending on what teams you're using. And then Brook is the last of our batch 1 characters that are going to be coming out soon. Brook, bone to be wild. His captain ability is boost specials. Boost attack by 3 times if he has a quick matching orb. Otherwise, it's only 1.2 times. A pretty weak captain ability since it has such a really huge drawback. And his special ability is also not great. He locks himself for 1 turn, which isn't nice. Changes block orbs into matching orbs, which is nice. However, eventually we're going to get Raid Boss Kuma, who just does better. He's just Raid Boss Kuma gets rid of matching orbs, or gets rid of block orbs and makes them into matching orbs and boosts orb damage. So Brook just doesn't get to see that much action, unfortunately. Brook, probably the weakest one of the batch. And then we have, going up a little bit more, we have the new, the second batch of Straw Hats. That is going to be from Franky right here, all the way down to Jinbe. This is going to be the batch coming after the first 3-day 2-year Straw Hats batch on Global. We don't know when this will be coming yet, but it will be coming soon probably, especially since how fast Global seems to want to put out these new rare recruit units. The first one we're going to be looking at, we're going to end on Jinbe. We're going to look at Franky. Franky's captain ability is kind of like Kuma. It's almost a 2 times attack, 2 times health booster, but this one is skewed a little more in attack, which is okay. It's not the most exciting captain ability, not the worst captain ability. It's just kind of okay. His special ability, however, is very, very good. His special ability negates all quick damage for 1 turn, so no matter how much quick damage you'll take in 1 turn, completely negates that damage, making him very useful for mini Coliseum and raid boss fights. And then we also have Usopp Boon. Usopp Boon, the second fat Usopp we get. Usopp's captain ability is, once again, an almost 2 times attack, 2 times health captain ability, which just like Zoro does, Ashura Zoro, but he is instead skewed more on health, which usually isn't that useful. Zoro is basically a better captain than fat Usopp is. But the new 3-day 2-year Usopp is the best dex booster in the game. So he, unlike Miss Doublefinger, who only boosts by 1.5 times for dex characters, he boosts 1.75 times for dex characters, which makes him the best dex booster in the game. Very, very good if you can get him. Nami! Nami's captain ability reduces cooldowns by 3 turns, which is always nice if you want to go on those speed farming runs, just get through stages as fast as you can. And boosts attack of cerebral characters by 2 times. A decent captain ability, very, very useful to have a 3-turn special reduction at the start of the stage. Remember, if you use a special, it goes back down to its regular cooldown. It only works once at the start of a stage. Her special ability, however, is very, very useful. She completely reduces the bind or lock on 1 character. So it doesn't matter how much 1 character is locked. If 1 character is locked for 30 turns or something like that, completely removes that lock. So if you want to bring her, for example, to Blackbeard, she completely gets rid of that the lock that Blackbeard puts on 1 character. Of course, as long as Blackbeard doesn't lock her. So, on Blackbeard, you can put her in the middle row, use her special, and get that character back using 6 characters on Blackbeard. She also makes Striker and Cerebral orbs in badly matching orbs into matching orbs, which is a very good thing. So Nami, a very, very good unit if somebody locks for a very long time. Luffy! Luffy is basically our mini Rayleigh. After spending so much time training with Rayleigh, he's picked up a trick or 2 learning from our best combo booster. He boosts the chain multiplier by 3.5, which is weaker than Rayleigh's 4 times attack boost, obviously, but he also boosts health by 1.25 times. Now, honestly, that 1.25 times attack boost isn't really that useful, but if you don't have a Rayleigh yourself, Luffy is a very, very good, very close replacement. His special ability is it's a little bit more useful to Rayleigh, however. He does 20 times his attack as quick damage, just damage, but he also makes perfects easier to hit. Now, what that means is those yellow words that fly in and out, when they get close to being the perfect hit, you actually, if right here, and so normally you have to hit right when they overlap for it to be a perfect hit. Now, what Luffy does is he makes it sound like maybe if they're right around here, if you tap here accidentally, that actually counts as a perfect. And there's a little message that shows up above that perfect that says, that tells you that it was actually because of the special ability that makes the perfects easier to hit. So it makes perfects easier to hit, so that way if you're trying to get that perfect and you're just like having a bad time hitting those perfect, it makes it it makes it that way you have an easier time because it gives you more leeway as to when to hit your timings. And then on the opposite side of that, we have 6-star Jinbe, who looks like a goddamn boss. 6-star Jinbe, his special ability for one turn makes your perfects harder to hit and does damage, but he also makes all your fighter character orbs into matching. So no matter what orbs your characters have, if you're using a fighter team, which if you're using 6-star Jinbe, you probably are since he's a fighter booster, he makes all your orbs into matching. So he alone guarantees matching orbs for one turn, which is a stupid strong ability. His special, making perfects harder to hit, is actually pretty decent. It's the opposite of Luffy. If you use a Luffy's perfect easier to hit and a Jinbei's perfects harder to hit on the same turn, they cancel out. They basically make perfects just as if they were before. But now you have an even smaller window of when to hit your perfects in order to actually get that perfect hit. So you really want to have very good practice with your perfects if you're going to use Jinbei's special. His captain ability boosts fighters' attack by 2 times and health by 1.5 times. Gets his 2.7 times attack boost if he's either above 70 or below 30. So at the start of a stage, while you're above 70% health, he has his full 2.75 times attack. And then if he's below 30% health, he also has his full 2.75 times attack. So you only don't want to be below in those middle ranges. So for a Jinbe team, you just don't want to be in the middle. You don't want to be below 70 and above 30. But you're above 70, you're below 30. He's got his full 2.75 times attack, which is so good. It's such a strong ability. That with the extra health boost that you get for 2 Jinbeis, Jinbe is a very strong fighter booster with very strong fighter captain. Now the only weakness to Jinbe is that it's kind of hard for you to use a friend Jinbe because there's not really any other good fighter captain besides Jinbe. There's Jinbe as a fighter captain, there's Blue Jinbe as a fighter captain, and there's Zeph as a fighter captain. And besides those 3, there's not really much to use. So you don't have the same flexibility of choosing captains like using a Dex Mihawk with an Int Mihawk, or a Int Mihawk with a Doflamingo, or Dex Mihawk with Doflamingo, or something like that. With Jinbe, you basically get Jinbe and Jinbe. And that's really all you need to stick to. But he's a very strong captain, a very good captain, and his make all matching orbs, all characters into matching orbs basically, is very good too. Guys, I've been Zigami. Get hyped, especially for all these good characters. You know, there's some very good ones. There's some meh ones, of course, in each batch, but hopefully you'll get the good ones. I've been Zigami. Thank you so much for watching, and y'all stay beautiful.